More than 2,000 years ago, China was not a nation, but a battlefield. For generations, rival states clashed in endless wars. Cities burned, armies marched, power shifted with every conquest. This era, remembered as the Warring States period, was defined by chaos, bloodshed, and ambition. From this violent world rose one man whose will would reshape history forever. His name was Qin Zhang. Born in 259 BCE in the western state of Qin, Qin Zhang came into a world where survival depended on strength and control. When he ascended the throne at just 13 years old, the fate of Qin rested on fragile ground. At first, ministers ruled in his name, but as Qin Zhang matured, he proved himself ruthless, calculating, and unwavering. Rivals were eliminated. Power was seized completely. There would be no room for weakness. Qin Zhang believed that peace could only be achieved through absolute domination. One by one, the armies of Qin swept across the land. The states of Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Qi fell beneath Qin's iron discipline. By 221 BCE, centuries of warfare came to an end, not through diplomacy, but through conquest. Victorious, Qin Zhang abandoned the title of king. He declared himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. It was a title without precedent, meant to echo through eternity. He envisioned an empire that would last 10,000 generations, ruled by emperors descended from his bloodline. Though his dynasty would be short-lived, his vision of empire would endure for over 2,000 years. Qin Shi Huang ruled with one guiding principle: control. He dismantled the old feudal system, stripping nobles of hereditary power. In its place, he imposed a centralized bureaucracy. The empire was divided into provinces and counties, each governed by officials appointed directly by the emperor. Loyalty was no longer to land or lineage, but to the throne alone. To bind the empire together, Qin Shi Huang enforced sweeping reforms. Weights and measures were standardized, currency was unified, roads were built to link distant regions to the capital. Most significant of all, the written script was standardized, allowing imperial orders to flow unbroken across vast distances. Even as dialects varied, the written word became one voice of authority. But unity came at a terrible price. The Qin state was governed by legalism, a philosophy that rejected mercy in favor of law. Under legalist rule, punishment was swift and brutal. Fear became a tool of governance. Obedience was absolute. Dissent was unforgivable. Shang scholars who questioned imperial authority were silenced. Books deemed dangerous were burned. Knowledge itself was controlled. The message was clear: the emperor alone defined truth. Across the empire, colossal construction projects reshaped the land. Massive road networks allowed armies to move with deadly speed. Canals carried supplies and strengthened agriculture. Defensive walls, once built by rival states, were connected into a single vast barrier, the foundation of what would later become the Great Wall of China. These achievements strengthened the empire, but they were built on suffering. Hundreds of thousands of peasants, soldiers, and prisoners were forced into labor. Many never returned. Their bodies became part of the very structures they were ordered to build. Even as Qin Shi Huang conquered the living world, he feared the one enemy he could not defeat: death. Obsessed with immortality, the emperor sent expeditions across the seas in search of mythical elixirs of life. Court alchemists promised eternal youth through mysterious substances, many containing mercury.
In his desperation to escape death, Qin Shi Huang may have unknowingly hastened his own end. His obsession with the afterlife reached its ultimate expression beneath the earth. Near modern-day Xi'an lies his vast underground tomb, guarded by the terracotta army, thousands of life-sized clay soldiers, horses, and chariots arranged in battle formation. Each warrior bears a unique face, frozen in silent loyalty. This army was not meant for the living world, but for eternity. Even in death, the first emperor intended to rule.
In 210 BCE, during an imperial tour far from the capital, Qin Shi Huang died suddenly. His death was kept secret by fearful advisors who concealed his body and continued issuing orders in his name. But the illusion of control could not last. Power collapsed from within. His successor, the weak and manipulated Qin Shi, lacked his father's authority. Corruption spread. Rebellions erupted across the empire. Peasants, soldiers, and former nobles rose up against the system that had crushed them. The very laws that had unified China now fueled its destruction. By 206 BCE, only 15 years after its founding, the Qin Dynasty fell. The empire Qin Shi Huang forged through fear was torn apart by rebellion. From the ruins emerged a new ruler, Liu Bang, who would establish the Han Dynasty and temper Qin's harsh system with Confucian ideals. Yet the Qin Dynasty did not vanish with its fall. Its legacy endured. China remained unified. Centralized rule became the norm. Standardized writing, laws, and administration survived every dynasty that followed. Though later emperors condemned Qin Shi Huang's cruelty, they ruled using the very framework he created. Qin Shi Huang was both a tyrant and a visionary, a destroyer and a builder. He ended centuries of war, yet ruled through fear. His dynasty was brief, but his impact was eternal. In the end, the first emperor failed to conquer death, but he succeeded in something far greater. He created China.